Okay. When do you make Crystal Palace? You were saying what I find it cleaner earlier when we talked about Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace, you find it cleaner. It's part of the rituals.
Funny enough, people think that these juju things, they are just African meats and African things. It's world over.
When it comes to Europe, it's now black magic.
Yeah, so even players,
they call it black magic. But
David Beckham, he didn't want to see. He wanted to see even numbers, not odd numbers.
Yeah, he had some funny condition. So I find it funny because when it comes here, it's black magic, it's dark magic. There you've got your Gandalfs and whatever witches that are white.
Walk into the pitch on 2 feet, it had to be bumped up 1 foot in.
Okay.
Yeah, so players do that. Some don't face where they're coming. They get into the pitch backwards. You know, those are rituals.
There's a
certain local team. There's a certain local team that used to do that. I won't mention it.
Do we have a local team that does?
Yes, there's one that used to do that.
Yeah,
but I'm not at liberty. I'm not at liberty to say names.
Also in dressing rooms, sometimes we know that people fear juju, isn't it?
Yeah.
So psychologically, it reminds me of a story that I was told by Gibson Homela some years back. He told me that, you know, we had to give courage to the Warriors when they beat Cameroon. If you remember that game. You know, he says what? You know what? We just took snuff and Vaseline. You know, we knew some of the players believed in that, and we needed to give them courage. During the Renard Fabishira, we needed to give them courage. You know, so what did we do? We took some snuff and put it in Vaseline. All right. Then we said, Tafamba woman. You know, we've gone Scambide Sabona Badad. You know, the kind of thing. Then they had to put it on their, you know, on their shins and so forth. So that when somebody walks in, he's confident something has happened. I even remember Jomo Sono telling me this, that the jerseys that would lala enyangeni, you know, kuranga, you know, even when I take attention who so.
Shit.
Or even defenders, so you know they can't take it.
It will be wet.
I heard there is a team that doesn't even allow any other team to come in their dressing room.
It's the same at Baba Fields. They don't allow women to be on their pitch.
All right, I think, gentlemen, you have a lot to talk about. Let's have it for Strictly Football. Hi, guys. Anasha here. I'm with these two gentlemen, Bevan and Val. Guys, do you have your nicknames?
No. We let's go. It's
It doesn't own one, so. Yeah,
can I call you Bev?
No.
I'm known as the good guy, so.
No, he's lying.
No, he's got so many nicknames on radio, so. Yeah.
Anyways, this is Strictly Football, and I'm right here. It's gonna be different. I know you were expecting the dark guy who sounds like a British, but it looks like it's gonna be different. Guys, what's the opposite for a dark?
You.
It's okay,
there you go.
Okay, so I think I would love to say it. Okay, I would love to say it this way, from black to white, just like the Highlanders colors. Let's just dive into it. Highlanders, you know, it was a huge turnout at Baba Fields on Sunday. Let's talk about those guys. Talk to me on this one, Valentine. There's been a huge turnout at Baba Fields, you know, a vociferous crowd. Like, seems like the fans are coming back into the game.
I feel with Highlanders, it has always been a culture.
They never left.
They never left. So they're always there. They always give you this great atmosphere. Yeah. You know, that gives you goosebumps when you get there, when you get into the... I remember, you know, for us, the experience that you have because we were there. And you walk into an empty stadium, you're preparing, you're making your preps, and all of a sudden, by 10:15, you're about to kick off, you're going for your interviews there. And the crowd is building up. The crowd's outside them waiting. It's not only that, it's the atmosphere that is created from outside.
The city center.
The city itself, you know, the dawning of the black and white, you know, and you know, match day experience. If you want to just go to Bulawayo on a match day when there's a game at Baba Field Stadium, whichever neighborhood you go to, I'm a Pumula boy, Pumula East boy, and go there. You know, you find boys there in black and white already in their regalia. You go Ebakumeni, Luveve, Papa Fields, you find the same, city center the same. And the belief, the love of their team, whether it's winning or losing. You know, for me, it was a great experience. And for me to be in that stadium to do interviews and you're ready, you know, I don't know how long it has taken me to be nervous. You know, before you do interviews and you bring in, you know the interviews in. Quite exciting moments and that we experience. And man, I've never, even in Harare, I've never seen such a culture. They love their team. They keep their teams close. You know, they love their team so much that for them, it's a culture. It's not just supporting a team. It's a culture. Even the little girl that ran into the pitch.
Onto the pitch,
I mean,
Marisa is sounding so passionate. Bevan,
yeah,
you can just come in.
Yeah, it was. I'm used to the atmosphere myself. I frequent Baba Fields, and I'll be frank with you, it's the best stadium to go watch a game of football for me.
Okay.
Rufaro can be that if Dynamos are winning and they're coming in numbers, but now, like he said, Islanders don't have to be winning for BF to be full. But for me, if you ask me what was interesting about the trip or the games that we covered then, it was more of the Scotland wave that I saw.
Oh yeah.
The wave invaded Blawayo, and they sort of took over. Because at every 10, you were somehow seeing a Scotland shirt. And what I found interesting was the jerseys were selling. And I'm like, wow, okay. Then I got to discover they've got a football is funny. They've got do you know they've got a Blawayo chapter?
Yeah.
They have got a emotional and central chapter. Because I literally interviewed these guys. So I'm like, wow. And how these guys were unfazed by all this. Because I'll tell you one thing, Blawayo can be very intimidating if you're in quotes a small team. Yeah, Scotland is big in terms of other things, affluence, and maybe the composition of the players. But generally, people regard it as a small team because they are coming into the Premiership. But this is a side that refused to be pushed around or to be intimidated. They will stand toe to toe with you. You know, it was just interesting, and the crowds were just, from the interviews that we did on the streets, in the stadium, and how people, different ages, and everyone from everywhere.
Can we agree to say that Scotland have brought something unique to Zimbabwe?
I was about to say that.
Whether people out of, I'm trying to run away from the word jealousy, but I don't know what's the right word to use. Whether people don't like it, but there's something about that team that is changing the face of football. I'll give you an example. I literally saw a video clip of Dynamo's fans in Rufaro Stadium. Islanders had scored, and they were chanting "Boso, Boso," and I'm like, okay, this is
what
strange.
does it tell about Scotland now?
Yeah, Scotland is ruffled feathers. They have sort of unsettled the big ones. They are affecting the status quo.
But this is the same when FC Platinum came in, Ngezi came in, because I think they will always attract the best. You know, from either the big club, because the big clubs used to ride on history, used to ride on them being former great giants in Zimbabwe football. And when these
what
teams
do you mean
come,
former?
They're former.
I know.
When last did the big three win the league? Highlanders, since the images of Facebook, have never won the league. Dynamos is clocking now what, 12 years? Caps United, they're the closest to have won the league. I think they're 8 years or 9, if I'm not mistaken, or 7.
It was 2016.
Yeah, 2016. Okay, that's 9 years now. That's the closest. Which one? Those are the three. So you look at that and say to yourself, there's a former, you know.
They are not former.
They're former.
You're trying to say former what?
Former great club.
No.
Which
let me tell you this. Let me draw parallels with maybe just I hope the producer will
Liverpool
allow
staying
me.
30 years,
I
they
hope
still
the producer
remain
will
great.
allow me. I'm just drawing parallels, Mr. Producer. Liverpool went for 30 years without winning it. They remained and still remain and will forever be a giant.
You know why? You know why?
Why?
They never went broke.
Broke.
They never went broke. In terms of they never went through financial crisis.
What
That's why they
if,
maintained
okay,
the status
can we
quo.
just weigh it on local teams?
Yeah.
We still call Caps United and Dynamo Harare giants.
They are giants. No. Let me correct you there, my dear.
Add the word fading.
They are not. They are
Fading giants.
My dear.
Even in terms of support base.
Hold on.
The only team that can
Hold on.
Let's hear from them.
Let me finish.
What
Let me
you have
finish.
to
Let me
say.
finish. You don't call them Harare giants. No.
Aren't they Harare giants,
No,
Valentine?
they are national giants. You know what? There is. I will challenge you. Name one place that you go in Zimbabwe you're not going to find a Dynamos and the Cape United fan. One.
Valentine?
There's none. But
There's
what
none.
I'm saying is,
So what I will tell you is
to maintain a certain status quo, you have to maintain certain standards.
they remain giants.
So I mean,
Remain giants and then you're not producing enough to maybe to push to win for a league. Going
push
for
they're
almost to a decade.
They are constant.
And you still
consistent
claim
Premier
that
Leagues.
name being
They are
giants.
consistent Premier League teams.
What makes a team be referred to as a giant anyway, if I may?
Consistency. You look at loyalty of the fans. If you manage to capture the loyalty of the fans, like how Highlanders has done. I mean, Highlanders, you don't have to argue.
To argue what?
That's they are giants. Whether they winning
No,
or they're losing.
I'll be frank with
the
you.
fans who are Dynamos fans, they jump ship.
I say,
like
listen.
Look at this is the perfect
they-
example.
they-
I'm just
And
giving
it
you.
looks like Scotland have raided this
They've
fans.
raided those fans. You know, there are people.
They have-
There are people. There are Dynamos fans who are.
So okay, if
We have Dynamos in heart.
if Scotland
But can't wear the Dynamos jersey
if Scotland
on the sleeve.
have raided Dynamos and Capes only, where did those guys who were calling themselves Blow chapter come from?
Bevan,
You're
can
telling me they were
can we agree
Scotland
on
fans?
one thing?
What?
For the past 3 games, okay, 2 games, home games, Scotland have had better crowds than Dynamos and Cape United.
Yeah, let me.
There you go. So,
I want to respond. I want to respond.
Yes.
It depends what you call better crowds, because for all I know, fans, some who are clad in their regalia, are celebrating when they concede. So it tells you these are opportunists that are not their fans. You get it? Some people who are going there for the freebies, for you refer to them as affluent, right? And they have the muscle, financial muscle. They have the money. The honorable is doing well in terms of investing in that. And in terms of,
give me a perfect example.
give me a perfect example.
Human example, how we experience in our day-to-day life. Do you know unogona kuti mudhara kune mfana because ane mari. Unototi mudhara.
It's not depend.
It's
not depend.
Ane mari ndiye mkuru.
And it says who?
Ole mari
Says who? Says who?
Natural.
Says a warped. Says a warped system. No.
Naturally, I'm giving you the great, tangible experience that you respect.
So you're saying Scotland is now the giant because only man? No, Scotland is richer. Yes. They are wealthier. But in Dara to who?
My fans are to
Fans, you know what?
You're like a father.
Let me be frank with you. Let me be frank with you. What you cannot take away from Scotland is they are carving out a niche for themselves. An area that the traditional giants did not or have not.
Giants.
No, there's no fading there.
They're fading.
A giant is a giant. A giant can be sleeping but remains a giant. Anyway, let me finish. This niche is where you're looking at the coming in of these affluent kind of fans. I was running away from the word the socialite and stuff. I don't want. Honestly, if you ask me, I don't really understand what a socialite is. I don't know that.
No, but look at my teacher. Suppose Dynamos, he never changed.
No. Go and read. Go and watch a video clip. The one she's praying with her husband. She actually confessed to the Mkepe. She said, but of course, because of marriage, that's my titi for you. She says it because of marriage. And I think I've watched a lot of her clips. That was one of the most hilarious that I've watched. But I'm saying they have managed to curve that nature. These Scotland matches are the only matches that are going to have the VVIP field. So it's a different kind of. But I mean, the so affluent people are few. They are way fewer than the 7 million that actually supports Dynamos. Here's the difference. I know where you're going. I know where you're going. Let me finish. Here's the difference. The 7 million that support Dynamos will only come to the venue when Dynamos is doing well. That I will tell you. And they can fill Faro Stadium to the bill. In fact, I'll tell you, they can fill Faro Stadium and National Sports Stadium. They can do that. But because the team is not performing well, they don't come. If you ask Stuart Murisa, he will tell you the best fans in the land are Islanders fans. Oh, yeah.
Just
because he has played for the three.
I'm going to cut you, Bevan. Just a last point on this one. Vali, what do you have to say? If a team is not actually consistent, like going for winning ways, winning matches, and they don't come, how true is this?
Yeah, it's very true. We have experienced it. The only team that is defying that is Highlanders in terms of the loyalty of their fans. He's mentioning how.
Yeah, but I think that's also to do with the monopoly. Because Highlanders, they since the demise of Zimbabwe Saints, they have not really had a challenge. Maybe Amazulu tried. Chicken in, I don't think, no disrespect, I don't think they are strong enough to challenge Islanders. But now Dynamos here, they are not going to have a lion's share because they escaped United. So Islanders now, they have that monopoly. Besides, I will maintain they are the best fans because of the culture that you alluded to. But you can't also brush aside the monopoly.
Serve it, boys. We won't need the whole day to talk about this traditional dance. Let's just shift to the Baobab and talk about Ngezi Platinum. They're just coming, looks like the former champions are coming in for serious business. Now they are now at the top of the log. Just 2 points clear.
It's early days. Right now, if you talk to any serious coach, they are not really worried about the log standing or the position because they know that it's early days. But what I appreciate about Ngezi Platinum is the energy levels. This is one side that I know they will run for 90 minutes. And they will play, they will track you down, they will do. You've got your Richard Achiro, doing all that, a defensive midfielder has to do and cleaning and mopping up. So they've got the energy levels. I have to give this to Coach Teko. Say, in terms of drilling inside, he is very good. And it's not this season only. All the seasons that is presided over Ngezi Platinum, they've been one of the most energized sides that you have. And I think if they continue in that vein, you can, in any case, I think it will be silly on our part to rule them out or to say they are not in the title matrix, regardless of the stage at which we are in the league. They remain a serious contender for the title.
Early days yet, but I believe the brand of football is something that excites all of us. This is what we want to watch, and I'm sure Deco is showing his pedigree. And what he's learning as well from the German coach in terms of tactics and how he is managing this. And I'm telling you, he's the man to beat. Yes, he's the front runner. It's early days yet. It's just 4 games into the season. So I'm sure we'll try and separate the boys from pretenders, from title contenders to pretenders. I think match day 11, 12, that's when surely we'll see, everything shifting and changing. But in terms of brand of football, their style of play, their fitness, I saw Highlanders playing. Highlanders, they could have buried Scotland or any other day if they were fit. I believe those lads are not fit. For me, they were not fit. That's why they're conceding. In the dying minutes of every encounter that they've played.
But also no, Scotland are scoring in the dying minutes of every encounter.
But I'm just saying from a Highlanders perspective, it's also about switching on we are looking at the mental aptitudeness, the physical fitness as well. Highlanders, to me, you had 3 players cramping on that day, and you tell yourself,
was that genuine or it was?
It was. I think it was. Because if you see a player not coming back thereafter, it might have been a tactic but it worked against them. But also looking at still on Texua Chiragwe, I believe him and Lloyd Mtasa in terms of tactics this season, they've been spot on, and so far in the first 4 games for me.
Yeah, you can say that. I just wanted to butt in a bit when it comes to Islanders to say, I'm really curious to watch them play the smaller teams. Because in terms of
they hammered Quaker United.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, well,
you're still bringing Highlanders. We'll still have time to talk about Highlanders.
Today, so.
We don't even know.
No, but
like, almost every team can actually wear black. Let's talk about Greenfield, guys. Greenfield has been impressive lately. They actually got their first win of the season against the Bigita Minerals.
What they've managed to do, in my view, is to fortify Greenfield Sports Arena. They make sure that they are not going to lose. And it's going to be very difficult for anyone to go to the Greenfield Sports Arena and get a result, because that's one venue that they have fortified. And usually it gets you over the line. If you're going to, like, look at what Zimbabwe did last season. They never lost a game at home up until they had literally won the title. Then when they were playing dead rubbers, that's when they got to then lose. But Greenfield is doing the same. And remember, this is a silent money bag, if you didn't know. This is a silent money bag. This is a very, very affluent, it's a very affluent team. But they do their things a bit chilled. They're like the steady money.
Valentine,
like
stop nodding.
No, like proper money. I mean, proper money doesn't make much noise, really. So it's just like when you get into your bank, it's always quiet, isn't it? Because there's money in there. But look at Greenfield. Yes, that's one thing most clubs need to learn. Make your home ground a fortress. And when you do that, it also gives you confidence, maybe going forward to other venues. But when you come home, just have the confidence that you're going to win. No one is coming out clean. Wange used to do it for so long. It was always difficult to beat Wange at the Colliery. It was always, until they started losing at the Colliery, they got relegated. So you look at that and say to teams that are coming in, that are coming up, to say, always make your home ground a fortress. And this could be the Achilles heel for Scotland this season. It will be the judgment for them to either win or lose the league. Okay. They need to have their own home ground because they don't have exclusive rights. Even so you look at that and it's something that is going to affect Scotland for me in terms of winning the league in the long term until they can have a stadium of their own.
All right. And we have seen Fountain Chicken Inn losing to ZPC Kariba 1. Chicken Inn, what's really going on with this team? It doesn't look like they have been champions before.
Yeah, but it's not shocking. What did you hear of Chicken Inn prior to the kickoff of the season? Their pre-season, they did not really bolster the squad with no names. They did not go into the market and do what they usually do. I don't know why this season. I think this is a season that they just want to maybe play and not get relegated. I think they were affected by the emergence of the money bags, the affluent side, as you put it, and they're saying maybe the next season, this season and the next is not a season for them, because you want to look at the investment.
But do you think it's also reaching the ceiling for Mafero there, and also having lost that is his assistant coach as well, and that could be impactful for them in terms of how they play, how you try and change things. It might be a slow start.
Yeah, but Val, they did not have a meaningful transfer activity.
Yeah, but we also need new players. We can't be recycling players, can we?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying
new talent is needed.
Exactly, but what did they bring? Who did they bring? Because if you're going to play against teams that have depth like Simba Bora.
But you have to understand that no one wanted to come
Scotland,
in. Everyone wanted to go to Scotland.
But where
was signing everyone.
But where
Scotland signed, is it 45 players or something like that?
Yeah, because they have the money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you can't compete with that. Because
Yeah, but you can look at Ngezi. Ngezi got players.
You know why? Eh? They've got a very effective under-19 side that is playing in the Northern Region Division 1 and always finishes mid-table.
But are you saying the players were coming from the under-19?
Some of them.
Some of them. Like Chicken Inn, they promoted some of their juniors. But the issue is the likes of Ngezi went on to buy other players.
Yes, but I'm saying the competitiveness. You know, sometimes if
but I mean, Ngezi,
I have to understand.
It's less than 2 seasons. We were referring to Ngezi as money bags. No. All of a sudden, the bag is empty.
For Ngezi? No, the budget was just tightened, and they looked for alternatives. It's not like they're broke, unless Benjani has taken you 600,000.
But what is 600,000 to platinum minus?
No.
Platinum minus.
Bevan, that is, football is considered as an extra curricular if it was school. CSR. So it's more of CSR for them than
that is where the but I don't think that is the Ngezi way of doing things.
No, that's the Ngezi.
Because the team is registered as a company.
Bevan, did you see the memos that were going around?
What were they saying?
It's Ngezi, in terms of the employees and the team.
No, the employees will say that.
Yeah, so
but they have to wake up and smell the coffee. It's like so, you know what? Tanaka Mnemo is equally a worker for Ngezi and under their whatever umbrella company. Is equally a worker for Ngezi as somebody who's driving that shaft thing.
When the executive changes, you find a CEO who's got no interest in football, doesn't even pitch up for the game. But if you find a CEO,
Ngezi are past that. Ngezi are past that level.
Wait. When you find a CEO who runs that institution, who's got interest and understands, you know, how the game is played, how you understand the importance of the game to the community in Ngezi, you know, you will definitely invest. You know, even when they are little.
But Ngezi are past that, Val, because of the investment that was made. I mean, they are yet to realize the return on investment. You can't say you are building stadium.
Look at how big the pitch is.
You are buying a
Look at how big the pitch is.
I mean, I'll tell you.
What?
You can't use the pitches yardstick now.
Because
listen,
I'm telling
because
you,
the only two stadia that you get proper pitches, Art Stadium and Greenfield Sports Arena.
Talking about Hart Stadium, I think this will not actually lead us to Yada, another team that got their first win. Can we say it's their resurgence?
Yeah. Well, possibly. I love the way they play, their culture.
They don't change.
I love their philosophy when it comes to football. I love their commitment.
That's the Prophet's philosophy.
Yeah, that's the Prophet's philosophy. The investment into the game. That's what I'm saying. When you have a leader who really invests in the game and understands the game, then you're about to. So for me, it was quite unfortunate that they received that ban that they had, and they had to lose players as well, because that's how good they are. You look at how they were playing last season. They were very good, but they lost the core of that team. And now I'm sure with the relationship,
King Nadolo.
Yes.
And Clive Mandive, the captain.
Yes.
And they lost.
And Valentine is saying they're actually good, yet they actually lost this.
I said that the brand of football, they're not getting results. They were not getting results. But tell you what, because they were going into match day with 13, 14 players. You know?
At one point, they had one player
on the bench. So you can't, even tactically, you can't change when you're found
others can change 5.
Islanders can change 5, you know? So that's something that I say, imagine if they had a full contingent, a full complement of players available for selection for them. They could have changed the face of those games that they lost at the beginning. But they did show us now when they are going to be allowed to. I understand they've got a good relationship with Scotland. Some players were loaned too. Some players are going there. So you find a very dangerous the other side. Trust you, man.
Bevan?
Yeah, I concur. I think that is going to be the case, because there are a number of good players. Because Scotland were not just buying, they were buying good players. So these good players were loaned to Yada, and you're going to have and besides the players that were loaned to Yada themselves, they've got this this Brighton and of feel.
Yeah.
somehow they get good players. You know, they've got these special kind of players that they can
unearth. The league, but
they will give you good players. For that. So I think you are likely going to see some improvement.
All right, I think we've come to your favorite part now. We're back to the actual match, Highlanders and Scotland. Scotland who held Highlanders to a 1-0 draw. But some are saying due to the turnout in terms of the crowd at Barberfields, the team had no creativity and a little bit of flair, Valentine.
Which team?
Scotland.
Actually, the match.
Oh, the match.
Okay. The match.
No, I think the match had everything. We saw Highlanders lads rising up to the occasion. I mean, it's what the home crowd will do to you. I mean, I've never seen Mason Shore show up like that on any afternoon. I know he's a brilliant player, but that day, you know, he was getting everything. He was everywhere. You know, you did, you know, transgress every inch of grass at Barberfield Stadium on that afternoon. In terms of goal chances, opportunities he created, they were there, but not as many as we expected. But the quality of the play, you know, from both sides, whether it's Islanders going forward, it's Scotland going forward. I mean, it was immaculate to watch. And also looking at the fact that Tondela Ndilai was even brave to sit Kama Billat on the bench, to sit the captain on the bench, that's Walter Msona. Not have Talbot Shumba start, not have also Type Machope not there. And also being brave to have Peter Mdua to start you played for Highlanders. And that's a player who had a point to prove. And he never put a foot wrong on that afternoon. You know, he was on point. He was hustling. So in terms of the quality on the pitch, I was impressed in terms of how we want to play Zimbabwean football. Because I could see teams stitch 5, 6, 7. You know, there was, I think, 4 seasons when teams couldn't even stitch 6, 7 passes.
Yeah.
We would end up with Chama Zambani in stadium. But now we can't afford that. You couldn't afford that at Barberfield Stadium on that Sunday. But
Bevan, you know, as Highlanders, they were actually leading for a good 80 minutes. And they were hoping that they were going to get a win, get in 3 points. But now, looks like Togozi has changed the script.
It's a mentality of, you know, one thing I've got to understand about Scotland is it may be a new team to many, but the players are not new to the Premiership. These are the best from everywhere around. You get it? And these are guys that have the pedigree to play at that level. And these are players. Imagine you had around 5 players. We had traveled with the national team, and they all set out, right? And that tells you of a team, if you are playing against, you've got to concentrate maybe for the entire duration of the game. So if you just go to sleep, you're going to have problems because they will score. You also want to look at the trend. They have been scoring very late in each and every game. But from them, what I took, I think there is more to come from that side. Once they gel into a team, it's still a collection of good players being molded into a team. Once the team aspect settles in, that team will be a problem. You know, I saw this Mtasa boy, I think, Santu Pokelo.
Yes.
Watch out for that boy.
Watch out for that boy.
I thought it was just about, you know, I'll have to confess, I thought it was just about the name, background and stuff. But the boy is explosive. And the boy, normally I don't usually need 30 minutes to maybe make my judgment and conclusion over a player. What I saw, given the time, if he works hard, that boy will be a problem.
It strikes me lazy.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying if he works, because he looks to be a pampered person.
You know, you can tell that this boy
is pampered.
Okay. You know, another roughness, so grittiness, so that he wakes up. You watch this podcast, or even the mother watches this podcast.
That boy will be a problem.
That boy is talented. That boy can go far, you know, but he needs to work hard.
Yeah, yes.
It won't come easy for him, like how life has come.
Especially playing for a star-studded side.
And also playing for him to get even to sit on the bench, will be working hard.
Yeah, it actually speaks.
You know, and I have to give it to Tondera and Dirai nonetheless, in terms of the attitude that the players have in terms of when, you know, you concede. I liked how they did shout at each other. All right, they didn't want to shout at each other, but they pointed to each other to say, guys, it's not over. You know, because that goal came in the 83rd minute, you know, with 7 minutes plus optional time still to play. And those guys just said, let's go.
Speaking of Tondera and Deraya, thank you so much for bringing the coach in. Looks like when he left and the other players, the defending champion Simba Bora seemed to be struggling.
That speaks of the coach as well, because that's what I'm saying. With Tondera and Deraya, you have to look at the person and how he wants to play. And also the respect that he gets from the players. Because the other thing is the respect you gain from the players. He's a championship winning coach. You know, he had near miss with Ngezi Platinum, but this time around
with Dynamos.
And with Dynamos as well. So this time around he did it with Simba Bora. And I think players will give him respect in terms of tactically how he wants to play. And I have to give him, in terms, Bevan was saying, they're not yet a team, it's still a collective of good players. When they become a team, they'll be hard to beat home and away.
Yeah, and also one good thing about him is he's a disciplinarian. This is not one coach you're going to, you know, fool around with. And if he tells you you're not playing,
let me bring another point as well. In terms of when you get scored, you have your shoulders low and you're looking down and you don't have a sprint. Caps United. I saw it at Caps United. I know sometimes this is the hunger to win, but sometimes you should understand mentally how to affect you. Caps United could have easily, you know, recovered or won that game against Tel 1, but it was because they let, you know, that goal, you know, pressure them down. Because even in the commentary, I even say that if Tel 1 are going to score first, Caps United are going to be in trouble. They might lose the 3 points, and that's what happened. It's when they consider the goal, everyone was shouting at everyone, you know. You don't go on for that long. You can shout, yes, to highlight a point, but it's tough luck thereafter. Boys, let's go. I think that's what Lloyd Strebo needs to address with his lads. He's got talented players in that squad, and he needs them to understand that at times when things don't go away, all right, that's when you need your unity even much more. Even when somebody makes a mistake, make them look up, chin up. Okay, don't chin down, don't look down, don't look, you know, dejected, because it works to the advantage of your opponent. And Tel 1 gained confidence.
But also looking at the top four, looks like there's going to be a face of new teams coming in, and also it's promising to be a competitive league.
New teams coming into where?
Like we now have Moles, Scotland. They're actually in the top four. Although there is Ngezi.
This is match day number 4.
But let's talk about this.
Some teams they are fighting relegation.
Business in this league.
Some teams they are running away from relegation. I think, you know, when you're setting the pace early, it's good. No disrespect to teams. Obviously, there's no way.
I feel sorry for Triangle, but I'm glad that the Gibbo Stadium is back. And I believe that's when they need now to start picking points.
And they are hosting Islanders.
And they're hosting Islanders. Trust you me, look, Masomere won't be easy to beat.
At home.
That won't be. Because, like I said, in Karamsna Stadium, and it's because
so this guy believes so much in these things anyway.
It's about the mental, you know, aptitudeness of saying we're at home and this is your home.
Yeah, of course.
Not being warm away from home. This is what has affected
I'll
tell you, because they were playing at home in South Africa, but that was not their home. Imagine if those games were played at the National Sports Stadium, go to Rufaro.
But talking about National Sports Stadium, it looks like home game is set to come back. Like Zimbabwe is set to host either Rwanda and South Africa.
I've given up because of the slow pace.
There is a promise that the National Sports Stadium will
a word of mouth.
Yes.
See, I just wanted to say something regarding the home. I think, you may be right, because I feel if you give Cape United, for example, National Sports Stadium, where they have expression and they are free, you'll be in trouble because they thrive in space. Yeah, that is. No, we were saying. The worm. We're saying. I was buttressing his point to say the worm sometimes.
Dynamos doesn't like playing at National Sports Stadium.
Dynamos, they don't like National Sports Stadium. Cape United, on the other hand, they love the National Sports Stadium. So I think when we were discussing the Gibbo issue, that's where I think Triangle can probably resurrect from there because they're not playing at home.
Right. Talking about Dynamos, another team that also got their first win after a chest of draws when they started the season. What is Mablani up to now?
Yeah,
Papa said not to be a song.
You have to give it.
No, you know what?
Come on, sing.
For me,
you've got the singing voice.
I did not get to watch. I did not get to watch the game that they played against Zimbabwe because we were covering other games. But winning against one of the teams tipped to win. In fact, winning against the defending champions speaks volumes. They are doing well, but my worry is I'm not yet seeing Dynamos.
All right.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Understandably.
I'm not yet seeing Dynamos because I'm saying, you see the thing with these big clubs is in these high stake games they will always show up. In these high stake games. Whether Dynamos is playing Cape United, they will show up. Islanders, they show up. Scotland, they will show up. What else? Maybe Zimbabwe.
Tell on will come and give them a draw.
You see.
And this weekend, they are away to Manica Diamonds. What are we to expect from Sakuva?
That's a big challenge.
Yeah, from Sakuva.
Are they going to maintain the momentum?
If Lloyd go and his lads come out of that one unscathed, their season has begun. And they can carry that forward. And I know Dynamos doesn't have, the big players, big names in their squad. Yeah, I even said in other podcasts that they're midgets in the Dynamo setup. But look at one of the shortest guys in that team, Emmanuel Jalai, how he did against the Nigerians. Tells you somehow.
I think that's disrespect.
No.
If you want to compare Jalai with all these other, the word that you like using.
I just picked.
No. Jalai is an exception. You're always going to have exceptions. Look at the others. What they're. Telmopio is very good. Crafts himself, but here's the thing: second half is out. Second half
is like a Tanaka Shandiro in terms of how he works.
Yeah, second half is out because he bends out because he does so much.
I'm sure
I think one of the things that they have to teach him, what if they have to teach their players is energy management.
Yeah, you
look at you're going to run against Ngezi 90 minutes, you will lose.
We'll see how Ngezi will do against Cape United.
Okay, just a quick one. You spoke about Emmanuel Jalai. Recently, Mablanyo said Dynamos without Jalai, they are just a ship without a rudder. What's your view on this one?
Yeah, he's trying to give confidence to his captain. Coaches will always say that. And he's just emphasizing on the importance that here. And they have to start preparing.
It's like,
they're going to
Dynamos is like what? A ship without what?
A rudder.
So it's directionless without
so,
without Jalai.
Yeah, so he's just trying to play around that. But I'm sure Dynamos now have to start preparing.
What does it speak about players, Devin?
No.
Other players?
No, what he's saying.
I'll reserve my comment
for after.
Anyways, I think today's business is done. That was Strictly Football. Anashe here and Bevan, Vale, and the entire crew behind the scenes. And always remember, never give up until the referee says so.
Highland!
You speak with passion, Wam.
Is not.
I thought maybe Bevan, maybe Bangacha Tawara with passion when it comes to Caps, but hey, Vale, you are too much.
Timbare.
What is it, Timbare?
Valentine is a Dynamos fan.
Dynamos, but it sounds like a Highlanders fan.
No, it's not a Highlanders fan.
No, Ajiti. Vale Ajiti. Ajiti. You don't even sound like a Dynamos fan.
I am not even sounding like that.
Did you say? Yeah?
Islander.
Superstition.